I love you. Gentle folk, ladies and men, we're so glad to have you here again. So please, won't you come on in and sit with us here on the couch? I am the green traveler from Gorsh, Meow.
And I, am the faceless Leone, Meow.
Meow. I hope that was seductive enough.
Yeah, we can be done with that. This is Green and Faceless on the Couch, a podcast about movies and TV.
I never really contemplated whether or not I could have a sexy voice. I don't think I have a sexy voice.
I don't know. We'll have to listen, We'll see.
I have a very nasally voice. It's all up in the nostrils for me.
I don't think so.
I think so. When I listen back, oh my god.
Dude, I'm a monster. Like the slowest, dopiest guy. I mean, I really do.
I have to, literally no joke, for a lot of, whenever when you're going, you're at a good speed. Like, both of us have moments where we have to pause and think. Mm-hmm. And no joke, there's so many times where you'll say a sentence that I have to delete like a second between each word because otherwise it goes on.
No, I know, dude, I know.
Oh, it's so good. I love your voice. You listen to it all day.
Yeah, thanks. I like my voice too, I guess.
Don't we all?
I like to hear it, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a comforting tone.
Yeah. It's very obvious that I love to hear my own voice. Even if I, think it's a little nasally or annoying or whatever. I just fucking love it.
Yeah, like, I like to talk. I might not be that good at talking, but I like to talk.
We could ramble. We could just ramble forever.
Yeah.
Or we could talk about the Aristocats. That's what we're all here for.
Welcome back to the Disney playlist, everybody.
Woo! We got to the Bronze Age, baby. I was right. It's called the Bronze Age.
Good job. What was that? Jason Bourne?
Yeah. I was so proud of myself. The Bronze Age, just for all of you lovely individuals who do not know, it's the Disney era that ran from 1970s to 1988. It is also known as the Xerox era, the Xerography era, if you want to call it that too.
The Xerography era, okay.
The Xerography, yes.
Why?
And, what?
Why?
Well, I guess might as well just get into it, actually. I was like, well, hold on a second. No. My dog's going to start playing with a toy. That's lovely. That'll probably be caught up on the mic.
Hey,
sorry, everybody.
If she's got to sit through you talking about cats and be in that cone,
right?
She might as well get to have a little bit of fun.
That is kind of the biggest insult to a dog. It's like, hi, honey, I'm home. I'm going to go talk about cats with my best friend, just so you know. She's just like, fucking guy. It's called the Xerography era, or the Xerox era, because this is the time period when artists finally started using basic Xerox. They started painting. I don't know if Xerox is the right word. They started using xerography. But they started actually painting onto the cells themselves. I think we explained way back in one of the earlier eras, animation is made up of a bunch of cells. You have a bunch of small, it's a storyboard. It's when you flick the paper and you see all the, you draw something different on each page, and as you flick through it, it looks like it's moving, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And each individual drawing, each individual painting is on its own cell. Now, it used to be they would paint that on paper, and then they would scan that and put it onto the cell. They would stamp it on the cell. That's completely wrong, but that's how I'm imagining it. And then they would paint on that. And now they're actually just doing it straight onto the cell. And the problem with that is, another era that this whole era has, another name this whole era has, is the scratchy film era.
I see.
It's very scratchy, and it's called that because there's a shit ton of black lines everywhere. And it's because the xerography worked, and it was cheaper, it saved them a lot of money, But the first few times you had to do it with black ink or black, marks. And so there were some very heavy black marks because they had to keep putting that in there. And that was the only thing that would stick on the first few goes. And then it would color in after that. So it is, I don't, being an audio show, we don't have good photo examples of it. But if you go out there and look at movies from this era, you'll see that a lot of shots have very heavy black lines throughout it. And this one had a lot of it too. Like there's so many moments, especially when they're showing like the French skyline, or you just see all the buildings. Like if you see any building basically during this era, it is just heavily outlined. Like it just sticks out like a motherfucker.
There was like one part where I could have sworn that I saw a second Thomas O'Malley.
Yeah.
Like for just like a split second. And then, like, they had that trippy scene at the end of the movie. And so I was like, wait, was that supposed to happen?
I feel like there's also eras, and I can be completely wrong about this. I feel like I've heard about this or I've seen it before, but, like, I think they reuse stuff from, like, the Jungle... It might not be this movie, but, like, they reuse, like, shots or something from Jungle Book, and they just, like, put a different character over it. I don't know. I can't remember what the example was. I'll have it for you next time. Next week when we talk our next film, I'll try to make sure that I look into that more. Yeah, I thought I had remembered that they, like, during this era they were trying to save money. Basically, this is a huge era of decline for Disney. Monetarily, they like not these movies. I think made money, but they weren't great. They had a downfall. It was one of Disney's sadder eras, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but
I enjoy this movie.
Oh, I do enjoy this movie, and looking ahead at the rest of the films in this playlist that we're gonna have for you, I enjoy a lot of these films, but they're much darker than what Disney's done before. They're they're kind of throwing the fairy tale element away and just going for darker stories. Right.
They I think Walt sent out some people to find animal stories in particular. One of them being, trying to get to the thing I read about, because I want to talk about stuff I learned too.
Yeah, okay? I will say though, Walt Disney had died before this era.
Oh.
Now, like, the new creative head is the director of this and the director of 101 Dalmatians in the last film, or the film after that, Wolfgang Reitherman. I love that name. Wolfgang Reitherman.
Just a second. I have to get my head wrapped around this.
Well, I think Disney had, like, sent out for the stories and then passed away, and so that's why they were, like, working on these projects. He might not have died. I can't remember when exactly he died, but...
I'll do real quick check.
Yeah, I just remember that Wolfgang, from my tiny bit of research into him, he directed from, like, 8 movies from 101 Dalmatians on. Like, the next, like, 5 or so films are all directed by him.
All of them are directed by this one guy? All of the Bronze Era?
I think so. I don't think all of the Bronze Era, but, like, I think the next, like, 4 or 5. And, I could be completely wrong, because this is all off of memory. And I did, like, 5 minutes of research on this guy. Yeah, so it's very shoddy.
You are correct. Walt Disney had died in 1966, so at least before this movie came out in 1970. But he might have had a hand in the storyboarding. But anyways, I was pretty sure that he sent out Tom McGowan to find stories. And maybe that is still true. I don't know. Because I didn't do very good research, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I feel like it's still true, because a lot of these films they worked on for years. Like,
yeah, it takes a long time.
It's very likely, that your research is still accurate.
I'm not exactly finding where I saw that it was Walt that sent them, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I guess I am talking about what we're talking about, but maybe you have better information than I do. Or more info. I wanted to just say that the story was based off of a story of actual cats that inherited a fortune.
Jesus, I did not know that it was a true story. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. I could not find if the true cats got kidnapped or not, but that's what they wrote the story about.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk the summary of this, because I gotta say up front, I feel really bad for the butler in this story.
Just a little bit. But dude, if he would have just like played along. Okay, we should explain it. We should explain it before I say that. So, Duchess Roquefort, is that right? One of her sons? No, excuse me. I don't know who wrote. Roquefort is the mouse, excuse me. Duchess, Berlois, Marie, and Toulouse are all cats who live with Madame. I don't remember if they gave her...
human.
She's casted as Madame. And she decides that she is going to leave her fortune to her butler after her cats live out their natural life. Until then, the fortune belongs to the cats.
Yup. Such bullshit.
And yeah, it is kind of shitty. I will agree. But she's an eccentric woman, and this asshole butler, though...
Yeah, that is the thing. I feel bad for him, but he's still an asshole.
Yeah, Edgar. Edgar, played by Roddy Maud Roxby. He kidnaps the cats and throws them into the river. But he botches it because these dogs that are pretty hilarious to me. I really liked Napoleon and Lafayette.
Oh, yeah, they're fabulous.
Pat Buttram and George Lindsay, they do other Disney stuff in the future and possibly the past. I don't know.
Yeah, and one of them has a very iconic voice. Like, yeah.
I love it.
I can't remember which dog it is, but it's just like the it might be the Basset Hound one.
I think it's Napoleon. Yeah. The bit is great that they do. Like, Napoleon is in charge. Lafayette, though, suggests all the good ideas. So, it's a lot of, I'm in charge! And he says, okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go. He's got such a weird, like, I don't know how to describe his voice. Like, it's kind of nasally, but it's not.
It's the cadence along with, it's just a strange pitch. He talks like nobody else does naturally.
It's like a gravelly nasal.
Yeah. He plays Sheriff of Nottingham in our next movie, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
So, I didn't mention who our main cast is played by so far, being Duchess, played by Eva Gabor, Zsa Zsa Gabor's little sister.
Oh, I did not know that.
I really only know Zsa Zsa Gabor by her name because...
Yeah.
But she, I guess, is more famous for her many marriages and her, public appearances than her acting career. But Ava...
And she was on the TV in Nightmare 3. Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
That's right. Yeah, I think that was her. Ava, she, though, was in Green Gables on, TV.
Oh, nice.
And she also does, she'll appear in The Rescuers as well.
Fabulous. I'm excited to get to that one.
Her children, who I believe were all young children who did the voice acting. Berlois was Dean Clark, and I'm probably not saying that name right. Who knows? It's spelled Berlioz. Yeah, I know. And I got away with it because, so you don't pronounce half the shit in French if you don't know. And we have French listeners, and they're like, you pronounce everything. You just pronounce it this way. And I'm sorry. Okay, but I did get away with it in French class. They said I had a pretty good French accent, and I think it's because I already have a problem with pronouncing our language, so I just didn't pronounce theirs.
Right. I gotta say, like, French, I love listening to French, and I love hearing French names. Reading French names, I feel like it's like learning it's like the first time I ever looked at words. It's very hard for me to read. Like I'm reading a Napoleon biography right now, and I'm having so much trouble remembering everybody in his life because of all the names. Like there's so many like very unique and beautiful names, but I have to like look them up and how to pronounce them on each one because I don't know how to read it and how to pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I try, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's right, and it's not.
You can mock us in the comments, French potatoes.
Yes, and please do. So after they get thrown into the river, they make it out. Yeah, they make it out all right because he threw them in a basket and the basket floated. But he also drugged them. He made creme de l'Edgar, and they shared it with Roquefort, played by Sterling Holloway. I knew you'd want me to mention.
Love him, and he's the best.
Yes, and so they all pass out. And the mouse, when he wakes up, he's like, "Oh crap! The cats are gone. I'm gonna go save them." And the madam's worrying and stuff. Yeah, they meet up with this alley cat. Do you have all his names on hand?
I only know Tom O'Malley. That's all. Tom O'Malley, the alley cat. That's all I got.
I'm gonna
sadly,
look it up real quick because it's his interest song and his full name.
Yeah, you gotta give him his due. Do you like pina coladas?
That's his full name.
Tom O'Malley, the pina colada alley cat.
Tom O'Malley, the tequila having alley cat. Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey, Thomas O'Malley, alley cat.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a beautiful man.
He does say Giuseppe. I don't know. I feel like that name is not pronounced that way.
Yeah, probably not. It was probably just to make the beautiful rhythms.
Yeah, they had to get the meter right. And he is played by Phil Harris, who I believe was Blue, right?
Good job. Very good job. Yes. I don't remember honestly, but I believe you're correct.
Was Blue. Yeah,
definitely.
He's Blue and Little John in the future movie coming up here.
Nice. Yeah, he's beautiful. I love his voice just as much.
Yeah.
I will say, as much as I love Tom's suave and charm, and he is very, it's fun to watch him just like roll around on the grass.
He's a swanky cat.
Yeah, he's just rolling around on the grass trying to woo Duchess, and I thought that was very cute and adorable.
Yeah, but also like the way that Disney sometimes sexualizes animals, man, it's weird.
Yeah. It gets a little weird. This is definitely the starting of that, where it's just like, okay. Like, there's some moments where I'm just like, does he have a butthole? Because I don't want to see a cat butthole. But I don't think they actually ever show cat butthole, but there are a lot of times where his tail is just straight the fuck up.
Oh yeah, they don't. None of them have any genitalia at all.
Nope.
And
it's fucking weird, man.
But I mean, it is kind of weird, but also yes. At the same time, I think I would be like, why did they want to draw that? What?
you know the artists have quite a few where they did draw like tiny little penises and
and somebody Wolfgang was like, I don't know, guys.
It's like either put pants on it or no.
So if they wear pants, they have genitalia. That's the Disney rule.
I think so, yeah.
So Mickey has genitalia then.
And Goofy. Goofy's got a giant schlong, too.
Yeah.
Donald, though. That's retractable.
I mean, it's retractable, so yes. Yes.
Yep. It's there. It's there.
Why do we know so much about penises of other species?
Especially the duck penis. If you don't know anything about the duck penis, just speaking of Donald just a little bit, go look at...
Don't.
No, go look it up. Go. It's very fascinating.
Knowledge is power to a certain extent. At a certain point, some of that knowledge is just irreparable damage that you've done to yourself.
Now, I'm just saying, if you go and look it up and you find yourself intrigued, not sexually intrigued, mind you, just intrigued.
Yeah.
Just intrigued, go ahead and continue further and look up the duck gender evolution war. It's very fascinating stuff. That is fascinating. Very fascinating.
It is, but it fucks with your mind. Ducks are no longer cute.
No, especially male ducks. They are just assholes.
Assholes.
Donald. You fuck.
Though, if you do find yourself into it, I don't know any plastic surgeon that will give you a corkscrew penis. I'm sorry.
you fucking pompous bastard.
What's that?
You're just like you're like a pompous bastard over there because you can just mold yours into a fucking corkscrew. It don't matter.
Yeah, but nobody's requested that. I mean,
why would they? Why would they? Let's be honest.
Exactly. I said that joke earlier, and I also just don't know any plastic surgeons because I also don't need one.
Right.
Do whatever I want.
I don't need plastic surgery either. I just gotta step into a human suit sometimes.
Yeah.
Just
what does your human suit look like? Or is that too personal?
We won't go there. Then they'll find us. Then the government will be on to us. Once we give them enough information, then we'll be able to all their fucking facial imaging shit and all their radars. They'll be looking for us. You don't have to worry about that, Mr. Faceless, not having to worry about shit like that. Asshole. Yeah, I gotta be paying attention to facial retina and image scans and all this kind of crap.
Do you pose each time? Like
every time I pass every time I go through like a stoplight, I had to make a different face, yeah. Just a massive like Jack Nicholson grin and scare him a little bit.
All right, you know what? I feel like we really haven't done much talking about this movie.
Should we wrap up the synopsis just real fast?
Yes.
I mean, basically where you left off is a pretty good spot to leave it off because Tom just helps out the cats try to get back home.
Right.
But at the same time, Tom doesn't really want them to get back home because he kind of wants a lover. He kind of wants, this new exciting life as a dad. He's pretty good at it. Yeah. He
falls in love with the kids too. That's really part of the cuteness. I love it. Yeah, really.
Definitely. And I think that's a good spot to leave off the synopsis and just dive into what we thought about this film.
Why don't you hit it?
It's very enjoyable. It's very cute. However, that said, it is 100% derivative of 101 Dalmatians. It's almost like the exact same.
Yeah, that's true.
Wasn't there another one? Oh, it's also very similar to Lady and the Tramp, also a bit. Like lost pet goes missing, Tramp finds them, tries to help them along the way. Yeah. It's got so many similarities that watching it this time, especially after having blasted through the other ones, it definitely felt very kind of derivative and like, I don't want to say cheap, but that's the word I'm going to go with. It felt, very cheap. But at the same time, it's so goddamn cute. Like, I love the kids. Really the kittens are hilarious.
They did crack me up quite a bit. I paid a lot of attention to O'Malley this time around, though, because I don't think I really watched this movie a lot as a kid. And I think it was that first impression you got of O'Malley where he's like, nah, I'm not going to get mixed up with no cat with kids. No, that's a really bad impersonation. But I don't know. I think maybe that turned it off, or honestly, it might be the fact that I'm way more of a dog person. But I did not care for this movie so much as a kid. But as an adult, and an adult in a relationship, it's very cute.
Yeah.
I also have been having those, oh man, how public do I want this very personal feeling to be? I've been having, those feels lately like, oh man, maybe a kid would be nice. And it's like...
Ah, yeah. Soak up that tax money. That's what they're there for.
I don't know if I mean, I feel like I'd be a good dad, but would I be a good provider? I don't know.
I think you'd definitely be a good dad. And kids, I mean, they give you money. That's what they do, right?
Do they?
They're definitely not... they definitely don't soak up cash.
The economic, benefits.
No, they just eat all your fucking bills. You got nothing. They eat everything, man. They'll eat your money. They'll eat your wallet. They'll eat your house. Kids are terrifying.
Oh.
Not to scare you from kids.
Will they eat the dog too?
Only if you can't provide more money.
Okay. Well, see,
Yeah.
I don't really care about money.
Yeah,
so.
typically they'll turn the dog against you to where like they'll start riding the dog into battle.
Oh,
and then you got to worry about your dog too, because now it's a weapon of destruction.
That dog is strong too.
yeah, you and Sarah, you and your lady love, you'd be destroyed. No, I'm just kidding. It's a great idea. You'd definitely be a good dad. So like,
well, I appreciate that, but I don't. I mean, it's probably not going to happen for a while yet. It's just.
I get that. Yeah.
Okay, I think the main thing was when I was working Nutcracker, there were these little kids in the show, and like I operate the fog machine that's like right next to them, so I'm like helping them not trip and stuff. And they're so fucking cute, and they were literally dressed like angels. I mean,
well, yeah, you know where I stand. As long as I'm Godfather, that's where I stand.
Yes,
a Godfather. You can have multiple. Your child. I immediately made your child a male. I'm so sorry. Your child can have multiple Godfathers. I completely understand that. And I don't have to be like the specific one, like the one on paper that like if you and your lady love were to sadly pass, I don't need to be the one that obviously I'm not ready for that shit.
Yeah.
So no. I just want Godfather status and title, not in actuality.
Well, okay, you will pay Godfather child support then.
I mean, as long as it's like $20 a month, that's totally fine.
Okay. I don't know how much child support is. I never asked my dad that question.
I think it's specific per like situation.
Sure,
but I mean, I will say like if I am a Godfather by title, I do anticipate walking in your door and having your child kneel and kiss my ring. So. He doesn't have to kneel. He just has to ride your dog up to me, like That'd be fine.
So you talked about how you like this movie. I also do like this movie. There is one thing that Disney even warns you about on Disney Plus that is pretty kind of gross. But first, I think I should set up that scene. So O'Malley, to break for the night, takes them to his usual dwelling in town. But all of his friends are there, led by Scat Cat, played by Scatman Crothers. He's a cool character. That's great. And there's great. Jazz music, and
gotta love Scatman.
Yeah, and everybody wants to be a cat is a great number, and it gets stuck in your head really bad.
I mean, I love the music, but that's the only song I remember is that song.
Yeah, of course. I mean, because that ending part is really repetitive, and you just want to dance to it. It's good.
Until Winnie the Pooh yells, "Stop it!"
Yes!
Or "Be quiet." I think he yells, "Be quiet."
Yes. Something. And it's really funny because you don't imagine Sterling Holloway, at least you don't imagine Winnie the Pooh getting mad like that.
Right. That's the only thing I remembered as a kid. Like, my brother and I, we watched this a lot. And that's the one scene I remembered was him yelling and then everything just grinding to a halt immediately. As everyone's like, "Oh, sorry."
So anyways, during this big jazz number, though, I don't know if this is Everybody Wants to Be a Cat or if it's the number before that. There is this part with the Chinese cat is what it's credited as on IMDb. But it's portrayed by Paul Winchell, and it is just stereotypical jokes about being Chinese.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's terrible.
It doesn't add anything to the scene or anything. And just so you know, that's what Tigger did before Tigger.
Oh, man. I mean, but it's very racist. Like, even the art style is just awful.
It's not good. But it's an old movie. People must have thought. People obviously thought it was funny, but that doesn't mean it's okay. And, it's just a fair warning to you guys out there. And I don't hold it against Tigger because he's Tigger.
It was just a job to that actor.
Yes,
He was just hired.
I don't even know if he worked for Disney before this point. So he's also a ventriloquist.
Oh, nice. Got a little good ventriloquist. Wait, was he the ventriloquist in the one in the Jiminy Cricket movie? Was that Fun and Fancy? No, it wasn't. Was the the one with the creepy ventriloquist?
I do know what you mean. Yes, yeah, but
yeah.
I don't know if that was him or not. I have no idea.
Oh man, I hope not. Shit,
that was like 20 years before this, though. So.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's a good. Yep. He's probably in the clear. Probably wasn't him.
Probably was. Should we do closing statements?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I do enjoy this film a lot. Again, as I said, it's very derivative, and for that, I'm only giving it 2.5 stars.
That's
because
totally
it's
fair.
very enjoyable. Yeah, it's very enjoyable. Good family film, and it's got a decent story. Even though I kind of hate Tom O'Malley every now and then, like he's kind of a sleazeball, but it's fine. He learns, he develops, and it's nice to watch him develop. Yeah, it's a fun story, but it's also just the exact same as like 101 Dalmatians and Lady and the Tramp.
And I don't know how I ever saw that. I was actually going to mention that it is like the feline counterpart to Lady and the Tramp, but it's
right.
the feline counterpart to both those films. You're totally right. They're like, oh, you know what? We haven't given any love to cats. Let's bring in some cats.
We have a whole nother audience to reach here.
You know what? I just saw an old cat lady house in my head with cats watching this in front of the TV, just like it in 101 Dalmatians.
I could definitely live happily in that kind of a house. Let's be honest.
Yeah. You like cats?
I think that's what I'm going to turn into. I mean, my dog has made me a cat person. That's how it's been.
I see. Yeah.
I love her with every like fiber of my being, except for like some fibers. There's a few frays, but God, like she has really just made me realize how much I enjoy a cat.
I'm so sorry. My dog made me realize how much I like dogs.
Right.
Yeah. And I love Zelda too.
I thought I was a dog person, but like I don't know. I'm much. I don't always want to play.
Yeah.
Damn it, I just don't.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, really, I don't. But you gotta give.
The poor girl.
Gotta give it to him. You gotta give him the attention.
I feel so bad for Zelda right now. Not only have I just come home from work and I'm spending like an hour talking to you about cats, but now I'm dishing her on the internet. Like, this poor dog.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, let's do my closing statement, because you did yours. Shit. I give it a full face. I mean, I give it a full face because, I mean, I really enjoyed watching it, and I really like the music, but like you said, there's really only one number that stands out, and also, it is derivative, so, but I do recommend it. It's a pretty good Disney movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, easy recommend. Good, from what I read about this being like a decline for Disney, it really like this is a not the start I would have expected. I would have expected something a little more disappointing. No, this is an easy recommendation. So it's a good start for the era so far.
Definitely. Well, nexty is Robin Hood, right?
Woo! Yes, it is.
It is. I remember enjoying that movie, but I guess we'll see. I know I enjoy the opening number. That slaps. As they say.
As the kids say these days. We're young.
Yes.
I'm going through a midlife crisis and I'm not even 30. Let's be honest.
Well, I think that's been our show.
Indeed it is. Thank you for listening. If you have loved this podcast, which I hope you have, potatoes, we love you. You can head on down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless and check out our tiers. We have merchandise offers currently only for the tiers, but, speak up. We're willing to sell.
Yeah.
So, and thank you so much for listening. We really love you. I have been the Green Traveler.
Oh, wow. I love that delivery. I have been the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of Fiction Works 19. If you like the show, please show your support by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Like, follow, subscribe, wherever you might listen. We also now have a Patreon account. If you feel so inclined to support us in a financial manner, please become a patron by visiting patreon.com/greenandfaceless. You can also find more information about us on our Facebook account or on the FictionWorks 19 Instagram account. Thank you so much for listening.